Hi, I'm Marin Alsop, music director of the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra. A friend of mine said once, a non-musician friend of mine, I said, "Do you want to come to a concert I'm doing tonight?" And he said, "Oh, what are you playing?" I said, "I'm playing Beethoven Fifth Symphony." He said, "Oh, I already heard that one." And, it's not like a movie that exists in time, always the same. Because it exists only in the moment, and then it's gone. And that moment is a combination of every single element. Of course, the conductor's important, the musicians are important, but another element that's critical is the audience. How the people in the hall affect the sound, their focus, their energy, and all of these elements contribute to that once-in-a-lifetime interpretation. I think our audiences don't realize that they're so critical to this. And I think that's why music is so exciting and so visceral. I think it's one of the most active experiences one can have, being present in the concert hall. This is a concert about the power of love, the pain of loss, and destiny. I picked Leonora number 3 because it really is, it's like the cliff notes for the whole opera. It starts with one note in the whole orchestra, which gradually diminuendos and starts to descend. And in the opera, we're starting to descend down the stairs into a dungeon. And what's happened is that Florestan has been taken prisoner, and his wife, whose name is Leonora, dresses as a man, and she becomes one of the guards at the prison so that she can find out what's going on. And the opening is very mysterious and filled with excitement and tension and energy. And in the middle of this overture, suddenly the orchestra stops on a hold. They all hold a note. And we hear a trumpet in the distance. And that's the governor coming closer. And this is fun because for me, I get to place one of the trumpets off stage or up in a balcony or as far away as possible, and hopefully they haven't been sent out of the building, which has happened to me before. So you hear this trumpet call, and we're waiting to find out whether the governor will commute the sentence of Florestan. Really, the whole story is about how her devotion to him and her love for him can free him. And of course, that's what happens in the end. The middle piece on our program is by Baltimore native Christopher Rouse. He's a composer whose music I champion all over the world. I feel that he is able to express the time in which we live in an emotional way that few other composers can. This is a piece, a very personal piece for Chris. It's about his roots, his Celtic background. This piece is shaped like an arch, so that the Irish folk song that begins the piece also ends the piece. And then the middle movement, it's a very personal statement, and it's in reaction to a current event. In the early 90s, there was a toddler, James Bulger, in England, who was murdered by a couple other kids not much older than he. He was about 3 or 4 years old, and they were, I think, 8 or 9 years old. And the horror of this was so overwhelming for many of us, but particularly for Chris. Chris is trying to come to terms with this sense of loss. And so this movement becomes an elegy and pays homage, I think, to the idea of loss and something that we can all relate to. So this is a concert, I think a very personal concert from both composers, from Beethoven and from Chris Rouse.